So question number 28, last question. We still have some time. What is liberation?
I can read one.
Oh, sure. Go ahead. Please, please. Thank you.
Inquiring into the nature of one's self that is in bondage and realizing one's true nature is liberation.
Just read it one more time.
Inquiring into the nature of one's self that is in bondage and realizing one's true nature is liberation. Okay.
Inquiring into the nature, just change that terminology, oneself to myself. Inquiring into the nature of myself, this egotistical self that is in bondage. What is in bondage? I'm in bondage because of the ego. And realizing my true nature, which is not the ego, is liberation.
Yeah, that's nice.
Then we accept a lot of things. Lots of unpleasant things become very they become easier for us to absorb as blessings. I have a paradigm shift then, that's it. This is all about the paradigm shift. If you're doing a corporate event for contemplation, we would talk about paradigm shift here.
Bandhu, that's what you always speak about, and you just said it. Seeing what God has taken away, which is the nature of bondage in our life, leads us more directly, knowing that it's a blessing, it leads us more directly to liberation, because the bondage is the challenge. It's not the gift. It's not winning the lottery. It's losing everything. That is the eye of the needle that we must go through, knowing that it is a blessing to attain ultimate and liberation.
Absolutely. Very well said, Sandra. And to each his own. And then in one life will be born like Shankaracharya or Lao Tse Tung or Saint Francis of Assisi or Ramana Maharshi, that we would be born like that, or Shirdi Sai Baba or Neem Karori Baba. And you would find that those attributes of self-realized souls, just ponder over it. Look at that picture, read their life and see they had nothing. They don't have big hats or entourage of people or big mansions living in. They're nobody. They have hardly any possessions. They wear clothes which are very ordinary, or no clothes, or tattered clothes. They never anoint anybody as the lineage for them. That's the definition of a realized soul. They would never say who would follow them, because there's no identification with anybody.
Just one thing, and it's a story which I tell you, but perhaps it's the ego sharing the story. I don't mean for it to be the ego sharing the story. I used to bake cookies for a homeless shelter near me, and during COVID, I went in with the cookies, and the desk worker said to me, "Who are you?" And I said, "Nobody." And I thought, oh my God, that felt so amazing. Being nobody, serving. And again, I tell this story not to brag about it, but it made me feel so good to do that. Thank you.
I'm a non-entity. What's your name? Non-entity. First name is non, last name is entity. So I'll bring you to 3 zeros. I'll take your reputation away. I'll take your money away. I'll take your family away. And then the 4th zero, your God, your Ishtadevta, your personal God, may also appear to have walked away from you. Then, if you continue to trust and believe in God, in your Guru, in your Ishtadevta, then surrender happens.
I think that there's different type of stages in that you mentioned before about possession or being attached to something. Something, I would say that one stage is when you already reach to one point where you're not attached to anything. Like you said, other people don't need a mansion or don't live here, it doesn't matter. But the possession and attachment is in the mind. So if I have a lot of things, material things, but I'm not attached to them because my mind is free of that, that's different. But in my experience, I always find that Guru and God always use material things, your body, your whatever, your family, all your mental attachment to push you farther. If you got a challenge, if you got a sickness, or if you got a lost, the way you move through that path is what's going to get you to the next step. You don't have any reason to get to the next step. You don't have a motivation. I don't know. It's probably not a motivation, but something like you won't get the other step.
Correct.
You just need the push, and the push is so we are in this dimension. We think we are in this dimension, but actually in this dimension is where the challenge happens. So if it doesn't happen, how do we move forward? So that's my own experience. I just want to comment.
That's very good. That's the right way of thinking. How would we retreat our steps unless obstacles are thrown at us? That process doesn't begin. All of us are here because there is something that your Ishtadevata has planted in your life that makes you think about these things. That's why we are at least doing this kind of satsang, this dialogue, because there's something that is missing in my life. Thank you, Katina. The only thing that I would probably add here is the use of the expression that the Guru uses, my material possessions or my body, as you said, Katina, very rightly. There's nothing wrong with it, but just to focus on that the circumstances, if my heart is true, if I'm really on this path and pursuing it, then difficulties are thrown towards my attachments. My attachments are my money, my possessions, my relations, my successes, my country, my language, my color, this and that, all my attributes. So if we are really pursuing earnestly this path of Advaita Vedanta, non-dualistic teachings, where we want to realize the ultimate truth, then circumstances are created for us which take us away from our attachments. And therefore, and my attachments are my articles, my objects. So that's the only suggestion as a devotee I would like to make, that instead of saying he uses my material stuff, no, he just is making me aware of my attachments to my things. Thank you again.